3, 2, and 1.
Greetings, my name is John Tate. I'm a federally and New Mexico State certified firearms instructor. What we're going to talk about today, very briefly, is a shotgun manipulation exercise. First, let's talk about safety rules. That's crucial in any activity with a firearm. There are 4 fundamental safety rules. The first is make sure the firearm is not loaded. For an example, is this gun loaded? You can't tell if the magazine is loaded from your view. You can't tell if there's a round in the chamber, even though the action's open. So what you want to do is look inside, inspect it with your eyes, and inspect it with your fingers. That's a way to check at night, to make sure the firearm is in fact not loaded. The second safety rule is when a firearm is loaded and you're thinking about shooting, you're preparing to be capable of shooting, the second rule is never let your muzzle, the barrel, cover anything you're not willing to destroy. This is especially important with a shotgun because of its devastating capabilities in close range. The third rule, keep your finger out of the trigger guard until you're preparing to shoot. It doesn't mean keep your finger out of the trigger guard until you're about to shoot, but it means you've figured out what your target is and you're getting ready to engage this target. The fourth rule is make sure of your target and what's behind it. As you'll see later, we're in an open field, and there is in fact a house almost directly behind where I'm shooting, but that house is well over a half a mile away, and a shotgun with birdshot is only dangerous out to a couple of 100 yards at the most. So we have effectively made sure of our target and what's behind it, so we have a safe shooting condition. Now, let's get to the meat of this demonstration. The shotgun is a wonderfully flexible tool. It can shoot non-lethal projectiles such as pepper spray or bean bags, which at close range could in fact be lethal, but they're not intended to be when used properly. Then you can shoot birdshot. That's what I'll be using today. Birdshot is what it's called. It's intended for using against flying critters and running critters, moving targets for hunting. Typically it's low recoil. It's especially low recoil when compared to buckshot and slugs, which is what police usually use. And because of their recoil, too many people don't want to shoot buckshot and slugs, so they don't like to practice, so they don't become proficient with their shotgun. And that's what this drill is about, becoming proficient with a shotgun by shooting birdshot at multiple targets in a competitive atmosphere. It's fun and it's productive. So what are we going to practice? We're going to practice the primary manipulation drills with a standard police pump shotgun, loading the chamber, loading the magazine, cycling the action, and engaging multiple targets. That's what the drill is, and it's a time drill. What you have is one shooter at a time engaging 5 targets with 5 rounds. He has to load the 5 rounds, and he has to engage the targets, and this is a timed exercise. So first, it's not painful. There's no significant recoil to birdshot, so it's fun. And because of the competitive atmosphere, people have a tendency to get better and better and better because they want to beat each other. So let's move on to the exercise. Yep, we're out. Oh, we're running.
Go.
Greetings.
Yeah.
This is the exercise we've been talking about. Behind me, you should see 5 railroad tie plates. They're about 15 yards away from me, and they're spread about 5 yards apart, total distance. The exercise is, I take 5 rounds. Any shooter can put them anywhere he wants. If he's got a loading rack, he can use that. If he's got one of those little elastic straps, he can use that. He can tuck them in his belt. He can put them in his mouth. But he's got to have 5 rounds of birdshot. And then when my able assistant says go, that's when the clock starts. I have to load 5 rounds and then knock down the tie plates. So that's the exercise. Go! That's the exercise. With a little bit of practice, you can easily be much faster than I was.